It's your boy Indian Gooner in the house, back with another bang on video. Well, yes, ladies and gentlemen, today we are definitely going to talk about the most wonderful game that I saw yesterday night. Arsenal versus Standard Liege, the Europa League's second match day for Arsenal, and it was a home game at the Emirates. Standard Liège were dumped in the first half itself, but 4-0 is what Arsenal did to them. And it was no justice because I think the youngsters were ruthless enough to make sure Standard Liège did not come back into the game any time, ever in the whole match. Well, talking about the attacking and the defense, it was a complete performance. Obviously, we had our moments, but those moments were very less. I consider Premier League teams much higher. All the 20 teams are much higher as an opponent compared to these European competitions, because right now I think even Sheffield United can pose a bigger threat than what Standard Liège posed for Arsenal yesterday night. But it was a much improved performance. Well, no Aubameyang, no problem. There is Gabriel Martinelli. Well, without any further ado, let me remind you guys, today we've got the roast of the week coming for you. Well, Unai Emery playing three central defensive midfielders in the Premier League, and that has to be roasted. And this is what you guys have selected, so I'll definitely be posting about it. And also, please subscribe and be a part of this community. I'm actually trying to build a community of Arsenal fans where everybody can come in and put in whatever their views are about whichever game Arsenal play, about Unai Emery or whoever is going to be the manager in the future. This is a long-term process, and I want every subscriber to be a part of every discussion that comes in my community tab. So make sure to be a part of this community and subscribe and hit that bell icon. And when you hit that bell icon, you get three options to select the topmost option, that is all. So without any further ado, let's move on to the match. Well, part by part, player by player, let's analyze Emiliano Martinez. Emiliano Martinez was subtle, was good. He had his moments where he had to make certain saves, which I think yes, that means it was a solid performance. He didn't have much to do, to be true to you guys. Well, moving on, let's talk about the centre backs. Shkodran Mustafi, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Shkodran Mustafi kept a clean sheet. Rob Holding kept a clean sheet, but Shkodran Mustafi had his error moments. But I think for the goal, for the first goal, I think the header goal, Shkodran Mustafi played a good long ball to Reece Nelson, and that Reece Nelson pass went to Kieran Tierney, and that was a great header from Gabriel Martinelli. So his involvement to that first goal was phenomenal. His long ball was good, and his vision was really nice to see. Nelson caught off Nelson's position, and he was really good in providing that long ball. Shkodran Mustafi really had a positive game. He had two games wherein he had two points during the game wherein he just gave away the ball, and he had his fouling moments. It's always that to see. It's really funny to see that Granit Xhaka and Shkodran Mustafi commit the same type of foul when an attacker or a midfielder is quite pacey. If the pace is if the opposition player is much faster, they tend to commit the foul and take the yellow, and they don't mind doing that in order to avoid a threat. But Shkodran Mustafi takes it one level higher. But I don't want to take away the clean sheet and the more positiveness coming from these kind of performances from him. I don't want to criticize him every game that he plays, but there were certain downhills to his game as well. But it was really good. Rob Holding, well, he makes everyone look like Cannavaro around him. So Rob Holding had again a big positive performance, a presence. Well, if somehow opposition's pressing just does not look quite effective, and Rob Holding is there, he brings in that defense line, and that box is really a calming. Is in a very calming position when Rob Holding is playing. I want him to play the game against Bournemouth. I really want him to partner against with Louise. I don't mind, but I think even Mustafi can start. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm really getting carried away with these superb Shkodran Mustafi performances. Moving on, let's talk about the fullbacks. Hector Bellerin to me looks 80% fit. He's still, I think he's not the Hector Bellerin of last season who was lethal straight away. But certain amount of crosses were finding good amount of players, but certain amount of crosses were not. to be true to you. I think Hector can improve, but whatever I saw, the captain's mentality when Gabriel Martinelli was tripped by the opposition player, Kieran Tierney definitely came in to support, but Hector Bellerin took a yellow card during that because he came out of his position and he was protective of his player. That is what the captain's armband does to you. Hector Bellerin is Arsenal through and through, and he doesn't have to prove that. But on the pitch, we see the passion, we see the desire, and we see how exactly he performs. Well, I love Hector for that, and I really am lucky to have him as one of the captains. And I think in one way, Unai Emery really deserves that. When I saw Hector wearing the captain's armband, I felt so proud of him. And yes, it was one of the right decisions. Well, moving on, let's talk about the midfield. The two central defensive midfield of Lucas Torreira. Thank God Lucas Torreira comes back to his central defensive position. But he looks quite scratchy. He loses the ball, and it's not something what I saw Torreira of last season. But yes, winning fouls and those kind of things. Yes, forward play, possession type of football. That's exactly the type of midfield play that I want him to play, getting the possession back and keeping the possession. I think he was really good in doing that, and he's great in doing that. And talking about Willock, again, the work rate was superb. That goal was superb. There was one more chance before that, but he could not convert it. It was off target, but he made sure that this time he finished it well. And I think his finishing is good. Yeah, he doesn't take every chance, but whatever chance comes to him, he definitely gives his 100%. And Joe Willock performed really well. Well, moving on, uh, talking about the attacking three line, Reece Nelson, really positive performance, but I don't see his positive performance when he comes in as a substitute. Not a very good substitute for Arsenal, but when he starts, he tries to give his 100%, and really these youngsters have been superb. Moving on, centrally again, well, this is the big reason I think when everyone is trying to tell all the Arsenal fans that Mesut Ozil is not even given any amount of respect to put him even on the bench. But when you got Ceballos, if you give Ceballos 90 minutes, he is going to be a live wire on the pitch for the whole 90 minutes. And I believe Dani Ceballos did that. I think he's a top notch, and he's an upgrade on Ozil because he tries to keep possession. He tries to bring in his trickery and definitely certain amount of shots also, and he finally got a goal for Arsenal. I'm really happy for Dani. Well, I don't know, he's quite integrated himself into an Arsenal setup, and he looks really lethal going forward. Dani Ceballos, 3 cheers for him as well for the goal. And talking about the next one, the next person who started, Ainsley. Ainsley was in the midfield as well, right? Ainsley, to me, had a very average performance. It's like an average performance what he would have as a fullback. It was something similar to that. He was winning certain balls, but I think the touch was too heavy, and the possession went on to the opposition. But Ainsley had a decent performance. But I was really positive as to what Unai Emery got through the lineup. I did not expect Ainsley to start as in the midfield, but it was really good to see if Ainsley is ready for a different kind of a role in that Arsenal squad. But I think he would require more games to prove his worth in that midfield. I would like him to play all the group stage matches henceforth. So I think yes, when you talk about the cup competitions, we are playing Liverpool. It's going to be more harder now because we reached the fourth round. It's not going to be easy. So I think the Europa group stages are the only stages where you can prove yourself, and Ainsley needs to up his game. It was an average performance. I don't consider Ainsley to perform really well straight away from changing his position from a fullback. But I think he needs to take these opportunities because Saka and Martinelli are taking every opportunity and performing their level best, and it's quite impactful as well, their performance. Moving on, Gabriel Martinelli, my man of the match, because the only reason why he was the man of the match because he was heading like Cristiano Ronaldo. He was finishing like Messi, like Neymar. He had certain amount of skills. He is a complete package. Mark my words, if he does not sustain any injury, if he goes on like he is, if he gets more amount of chances, I'm going to tell you this guy is going to be a goal scoring machine. And the best part of Martinelli is that he's taking every shot into consideration to make a case for himself to get a start for Arsenal in the Premier League. I would want him to play for Bournemouth, against Bournemouth, I'm sorry. I would want him to play against Bournemouth. No, he's not. He's just somewhat like Genduzi and Torreira who just get into the team's mix. Just how Bukayo Saka got his 2 chances for Arsenal straight away. I think Martinelli deserves a start. I think Bukayo Saka should not play against Bournemouth, but I think Martinelli should replace him on the left hand side because I want to see Martinelli prosper, and that's going to be my 11 when I talk about the preview of Arsenal versus Bournemouth this Saturday. So this is what exactly I would want to tell you guys. I'm talking about substitutions. I think average substitutions, whoever came on the pitch had a decent amount of role to play. I would not talk much about it. Even Aubameyang, no, nobody had a very impactful thing. Genduzi providing a good defensive work. I think everyone was decent enough. But to me, man of the match was Gabriel Martinelli. Let's go on to the stats of the game. Let's talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. Reece Nelson created 3 chances versus Standard Liège. Only Dani Ceballos, who created more chances before Nelson's substitution. Uh, Dani Ceballos created 4 chances, and it was really positive for him. Well, moving on, let's talk about Kieran Tierney. 93% pass accuracy, 7 ball recoveries, 5 chances created, 3 out of 4 tackles won, 2 out of 2 take-ons, and 1 assist. Kieran Tierney bossed the left flank. That was completely his. Well, moving on. Well, Unai Emery, let's talk about Unai Emery, has won 19 of his last 21 home Europa League games across spells with Seville and Gunners. Win 19, drawn 1, lost 1, including last 6 in a row have been won. So Unai Emery is a boss, is a king of Europa. I don't know if we make a Champions League next season, if he's going to replicate some of his good stats in the Europa in the Champions League or not. That is there to be seen. Scotland Mustafi has played 3 games and has kept 3 clean sheets. Virgil van Dijk has only kept 2 clean sheets, ladies and gentlemen. So shockingly, Scotland Mustafi, though this is a stat, I'm not comparing to the opponents. Obviously Van Dijk played a very difficult opponents, but Scotland Mustafi officially has more clean sheets than Virgil van Dijk till now this season, and yeah, you can't take that. All the haters and trolls, you cannot take that away from Scotland Mustafi. Well, moving on, let's talk about Gabriel Martinelli. Well, this is really funny to see. Gabriel Martinelli, 18-year-old, 107 days, was the youngest player to score more than 1 goal in a single major European game for Arsenal. But not only that, Gabriel Martinelli had 7 shots, 3 on target, 3 chances created, 2 out of 2 take-ons that he's done. 2 goals, 1 assist, 47 touches, 10 total duels, 5 recoveries, 3 tackles, 78% pass accuracy, 4 key passes, and 18 overall passes. Well, it was an unbelievable night to remember for Gabriel Martinelli. Talking about Kieran Tierney also, Kieran Tierney was involved in the first 3 goals registered for Arsenal, and his first assist, ladies and gentlemen, he was an unbelievable force on that left flank. Well, a powerful performance that you can never forget about the left full back. Well, moving on, Arsenal versus Standard Liège. Arsenal had 26 shots, Standard Liège only 13. Chances created 18 by Arsenal, 8 by Standard Liège. Possession 62% for Arsenal, 38% for Standard Liège, and it took 131 seconds in between Martinelli to score 2 goals. Yes, the time difference between Martinelli's both the goals was just 131 seconds, and Arsenal just bossed this game completely. Well, these were the stats. This was the news. This was my review preview. Whatever you feel this was about Arsenal versus Standard Liège, and if you guys got any worth and information that you liked, be a part of this community, like and subscribe, and definitely share the link of this video with your friends and tell them to be a part of this community and add up. I'll see you in my next video. That is the roast of the week. Until then, cheers.